it's been kind of a whirlwind for you over the past couple months. How's it been?
That's a very good word. Driving up and down Michigan, east and west, it's been crazy, but it's been good because we've met a lot of patriots, a lot of citizens who love this state and want to make sure that the future of Michigan is secure for our children and grandchildren.
You're making headlines again right now, asking for the Republican nomination for lieutenant governor. Tell our viewers why you think you're the right person for that job.
Well, if I could just clarify first, I didn't jump into this because I was looking to do this. About 2 months ago, some people on the trail said, Ralph, if you didn't make governor, would you consider running for lieutenant governor? And at that point, I had no idea that I would even do what I'm doing. But they planted the seed. And as the day of August 2nd ended, the emails, text messages, Facebook messages started flooding in. So, this is something that's really not about me or even Shane. It's really bigger than that. It's about the convention. It's about how it's run. It's about rules and regulations for that meeting and policy changes, rule changes. I'm convinced, Jay, that if it wasn't me, somebody else would be sitting here. You would be talking to someone else because there are a lot of grassroots that are really concerned about the direction of that convention.
How do you think? Let me start by saying my dad is a pastor, and so
Okay.
I have a lot of respect for people who work within the church. How do you think the role of a pastor for so many years has helped prepare you to lead the people of Michigan?
Well, as a pastor, I've been a mediator. I've been a unifier. I know your dad, and you know this. There are people that come into your office as a pastor, and husband and wife who are at each other's throats, who are ready to get divorced, and you have to be able to take that very volatile situation and turn it into something where you can move forward. And in my 35 years of experience as a pastor, and even sitting in pastors' meetings over the last 35 years, I have a great amount of parliamentary experience. I know Robert's rules, but in particular, that question, what I have found is that whether it's the husband or the wife, say one of them doesn't have the voice in the marriage and they feel trampled on all the time, when they sit down with me after the meeting, there's progress, there's ability to go forward because both sides have been heard. And so that's what I really am attempting to facilitate on Saturday, making sure that both sides are heard. Because at the end of the day, or at the end of the counseling session, if both sides have been heard, it's easier to move forward. And it's easier to say, we accept the conclusion here. And so it's really more about process than it is about, about the candidate, in my opinion.
How do you feel moving forward? Are you feeling good about everything?
I am. I really do. We're getting emails, text messages from people till 11:30 last night, maybe even later. Ralph, you're doing the right thing. Keep going. We're behind you. I heard last night that there were several counties that voted to get behind me. Of course, we need 1,050 or 60 votes to make it happen. But when I talk about unity, there were 40% of the Republicans who voted for Tudor Dixon, and there were 60 who didn't. And so what I'm looking to do is bring that 60 into the ticket because many of them have said, Ralph, we're going to go to a different party or we're going to do something different. And I asked them between August 2nd and the time I announced on Monday, I said, what if I was on that ticket? Would that make a difference? And they're like, oh, absolutely. We would definitely vote for the ticket. So my whole idea is to bring that 60% over so that come November, we're coming forward with with Tudor's ticket to beat Gretchen with a united Republican front because people's voices have been heard and the process has been followed.
What's your process as this all plays out? Do you like to keep the news on and watch the numbers as they come in, or just kind of wait and hear the results the next day?
Well, I will be at the convention as a guest. I'm not a delegate, nor am I a voting member. So I'm going to be there. If there are questions, if I had opportunity the privilege of the floor to speak, I would be happy to do that. So I'll be there. And I believe it's one of the first things on the agenda. So as I've been telling people, at the end of the day, I'm about serving the people. And I think we have to be careful if there's an elitist group, an oligarchy that wants to run the state or run our party. We have to be careful that that doesn't monopolize everything. And, you know, the delegates may say, you know, we're going to go the other way. And if they do, that's fine. I will support that ticket 100%. I'm not going to be a James Craig or someone else who says, hey, we're leaving the party. I'm here to support the ticket.
Beautiful. That is all I have, unless you want to add anything.
No, I just keep telling people when they say that at the end of the interview, I just keep saying, please make sure that, you know, it's viewed as unifying the party. That's really why I'm doing this, because as I said, if people are heard and their voices are understood, it's much easier for them to accept the outcome. And so that's all we're looking for. We're not looking to be shut down or silenced. We're just looking to be heard. And so we'll see where it goes.
Okay. Well, again, thank you for your time, and enjoy the weekend.